when I was doing this, I took a lot of shit from people, from men who didn't want me to realize my own worth, who didn't want me to know the truth about who I was and how good I was.
I want to talk about the Cocaine Barbie and Nicki Minaj's latest stint. Let's just call this what it is. We are watching the biggest fall off in real time. Nicki, a woman who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Beyonce, Rihanna, and Taylor Swift, who all grew global billion-dollar empires, has now reduced herself to a female Kanye and a MAGA man. And the crazy part is nobody is even doing anything to her to cause all this like she constantly claims. She is actively destroying her own legacy, brick by brick, alone, meltdown by meltdown, line by line. And not the music kind, baby.
You're extra, you're loud, you're unapologetic. Well, thank you.
Because when Bey was building Parkwood, when Rihanna was building Fenty, when Taylor was out here reshaping global touring economics, Nicki was online calling people's kids monkeys and beefing with 25-year-olds half her age. So we see the Harajuku hater exposing her insecurities every single time she feels threatened by another woman she thinks might snatch her spot. And if the crash out queen crawling out the crack house, agitated and pressed like a panini, firing shots, constantly getting triggered by the success of other rap girlies wasn't enough.
Oh, I get it. They painted me out to be the bad guy.
Oh, snappity snap snap.
Make matters worse, now she's aligning herself with Trump's camp and appearing at the UN with Mike Waltz to speak on the so-called persecution of Christians in Nigeria.
It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage and calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria.
As a Black Caribbean woman with a primarily POC and queer fan base that literally built her career. Child, your slip is showing, Nicki. All of these unwarranted, unprovoked, and performative antics only illustrate how desperate, insecure, and miserable you are. And also only remind us of how far you've fallen, child. Once part of the Holy Trinity along with Queen Bey and Princess Riri, Nicki is now a running joke in the industry. A clown in a crown. A hollow shell of the once respected, undeniable, and world-renowned talent she used to be. But as always, there's a bigger takeaway here. The way you respond to career challenges and adversity impacts your brand and determines your legacy, Black woman. Some of us successfully navigate this, capitalize on our successes, and evolve with poise, grace, and growth. Others snort lines of coke and crash out. So let's break down the difference.
Shout out to my exes.
Keep going crazy.
Show off your skin, that shit is popping, girl. Body on 10, damn, you got it, girl. You gotta boss up. Getting them checks, living your best. Racks up. Oh, keep walking with confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
So I want to first talk about Riri and how she could teach a masterclass on rebranding and how to successfully pivot.
I am the superstar.
Are you tired?
And I have to preface things with this disclaimer. We are not talking about her relationship choices, okay? They're awful. As a divested woman, I do not agree with who she decides to partner with. But I'm only talking about branding and professionally, how there will likely be college business courses created on how she navigated challenges and created such a massive and successful billion-dollar empire. So Rihanna is not a stranger to scandal. And at the beginning of her career, she was assaulted by then BF Chris Brown.
She says she and Brown were in the car on the way home from that Grammy party. He was driving, and over the next 30 minutes, here's what happened. She saw a text message on his cell phone from an old girlfriend. She got angry.
I caught him in LA, and he wouldn't tell the truth, so I wouldn't drop it. I kept saying I couldn't take that he kept lying to me, and he couldn't take that I wouldn't drop it. Because obviously, his back was up against the wall. The truth is right here in the text message. So, it escalated into him being violent towards me.
Child, this was messy. I was in my prime back then, and I remember vividly, even though she was the victim, she was villainized and even victim blamed. There was this random rumor that she even gave him herpes, which was crazy. People were saying suddenly that she was a part of the Illuminati and that she sold her soul back then. And she rolled with the punches. And she embraced this bad girl era where she cut her hair off, she dressed in all black in response, and adopted this unapologetic attitude.
I just took the bad girl attitude of everything, and I just did everything my way.
And I say in hindsight, that was arguably Rihanna's best musical era. Rihanna also used to be clapback queen, just like Nicki. Queen Twitter fingers. And the first most notable instance I remember when this happened was when she used to pick on poor Karrueche, who started to date Chris Brown after they broke up.
Karrueche, just let me ride.
And Rihanna did quite a few things to punch down on her, but most notably posted a racist photo on Instagram, which depicted a bag of rice cakes, wearing sunglasses and hoop earrings, an obvious racial dig at Karrueche, who was half Vietnamese. She also did a collaboration with Chris where she sings about effing him and even sang how she's sweeter than a rice cake.
Sweeter than a rice cake.
Again, terrible Twitter finger choices, terrible dating choices, but we're here to talk about the branding choices and the career progression and how she evolved and grew from this. And now is the quiet and cute queen and mogul that she is today. She also publicly got into it back then with Ciara on Twitter in 2011 when she got upset after the R&B singer talked about how she met Rihanna, who wasn't the nicest.
I ran into her recently at a party, and she wasn't the nicest. And it's crazy because I've always loved and respect what she's done with fashion, and I've ran into her, before. But this time, it was just really wasn't the most pleasant run-in. So, a bitch.
And in response, Riri tweeted, "My bad, did I forget to tip you?" Ciara said, "Well, trust me, you don't want to see me on or off the stage," in response. And Rihanna simply tweeted, "Good luck booking that stage you speak of." So for baby Gen Zers, Ciara was definitely not the fabulous A-lister football wife that people look up to and are fond of today. Her career was struggling when all this happened. She was dating Future at the time, and folks was calling her Future in the past. Also, Riri was not Miss Stay Out the Way, Miss Stay Home Barefoot and Pregnant, drop an album. That girl was making music, and she was also very messy and outside. So Rihanna continued to punch down, just like Nicki does. And this also happened with Tiana Taylor.
It all started when Teyana posted an Instagram video of herself singing a cover of Anita Baker's Caught in the Rapture song on September 11th. And apparently Riri didn't like it, because 2 weeks later she posted a video of her makeup artist dressed as Teyana mocking the same Anita cover song.
So Tiana posted a song on Instagram singing Caught Up in the Rapture. And Rihanna got her stylist to imitate Tiana and wear drag, dressing similarly to her, and also posted the video to her Instagram. There was a Twitter exchange between the two, and it got so nasty that Tiana ended up posting old photos to show Rihanna's bruised face from Chris Brown's attack. Miss Mama said, "You go low, I'm going to hell." However, Rihanna Twitter fingers definitely started to beef with the unwarranted attack, so this was her fault, y'all. And there were a slew of other examples where Rihanna was getting into silly, petty arguments on Twitter. I'm gonna be honest, Her antics were a lot like the Crash Out Queen. However, Rihanna was only 20 years old. She was half Nicki's age. She was young and immature, so that made sense for her to make those public mistakes. And unlike the BBL Barbie, she eventually grew up, logged off, and touched grass. We know she liked her weed, child, but 20 years later, we don't see her getting hired in Kia car insurance like the cocaine queen, still crashing out every damn day. Not only that, Rihanna has evolved to the next phase of her career, matured past simply making acts, shaking music, and now is a makeup mogul and owns Fenty Beauty, which is now worth $2.8 billion. Meanwhile, your fave is selling press-on nails and launching clothing brands in Kmart.
Hey, can we not do so close up in my up my butt cheeks? Move up out of my butt. Thank you.
So Riri is easily surpassing Nicki's net worth, even though they're in the same class. And again, I won't get into Rihanna's relationship choices or relationship dynamics because I think Rihanna, Beyonce, and Nicki all make major mistakes in this area. However, when it comes to protecting your brand, creating legacy, knowing how to pivot, and knowing how to shut the F up, Rihanna has done very, very well in this area. Nicki, on the other hand, is 42 years old, having the temper tantrums of a 2-year-old. So it's no wonder you resorted to slanging nails on TikTok, sister.
In the name of all that is holy, would you look at Karen Smith's gym clothes?
Of course, all the plastics are in the same gym class. Where are the plastics?
They're teen royalty. If North Shore was Us Weekly, they would always be on the cover.
Rerun. Hey, 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 what's happening?
That one right there is Iyanla Vanzant. She's one of the dumbest people you'll ever meet. I sat next to her in law school last year and she told me I should date our bus driver. And that funny looking one over there, that's Tyler Perry. She expects women to cape and coddle broke men because she was one and we turned her into a billionaire. She also tells successful black women to date who can pay the light bill because she secretly does the same thing. And evil takes a human form in Nicki Minaj. She's male-identified and male-worshipping, so hates other women who look like her.
Is it the thanks that I get for putting you bitches on?
She hates black women so much, she even defends predators and married ones. She even victim blames and makes fun of DV survivors.
I call her Bigfoot. The bitch fell off. I said, get up on your good foot.
Lied on a dead mama. Lied on a dead mama. Lied on a dead mama.
Are you tired of constantly being bullied by mules and mean girls? Are you sick of being told to lessen your standards and to ride or die? Are you exhausted from tolerating anything just to say you got a man? Then you're in the right place. Join the Lexus Exodus Patreon private community to meet like-minded, divested women who prioritize self first. In my Patreon, you will participate in exclusive lives, get access to exclusive content, get access to a private community of other divested women, and much, much more. Join us by visiting patreon.com/LexusExodus.
Let's get into Beyonce next. And this whole video could be on studying Bey's development and growth alone. There are already several master classes on how to protect your brand that focus on Beyonce. Respect that. Bow down, bitches. But for time's sake, let's talk about the most notable instances Queen Bey handled negativity and hate with grace like a class act. So remember way back when she received an immense amount of backlash due to her performance at the Super Bowl and responded with poison grace.
The growing Beyonce backlash, the singer getting grief for her controversial video for the song Formation and for her performance at the Super Bowl halftime show earlier this month.
And some people were made uncomfortable by the imagery and accused the singer of being anti-police. Beyonce has come out to put those rumors to rest and address the backlash to her video in an interview with Elle magazine. The singer understands art is easily misunderstood, but feels anyone who perceived Formation as anti-police is mistaken. Beyonce said, I have so much admiration and respect for officers and the families of officers who sacrifice themselves to keep us safe.
She also experienced women coming for her spot.
You can dance, she can sing, but need to move it to the left, to the left. She need to go have some babies.
What up, Jay? Jay-Z's alleged mistress, Liv, pens an open letter to Beyonce in a new rap.
Also, when she caught her husband cheating, instead of crashing out on live,
She released Lemonade.
And Beyonce has, of course, just dropped her latest album, Lemonade, in the form of an hour-long art film that tells the story of the affair that nearly ended her marriage to Jay-Z.
Beyonce also released a country album recently and was snubbed by the entire country music industry, including the CMAs, and didn't get a single nomination.
This ain't Texas.
Queen Bee reigning supreme, overnight debuting her new album cover for Cowboy Carter. Beyonce posting this pic online, writing, "This album has been over 5 years in the making. It was born out of an experience that I had years ago where I did not feel welcomed, and it was very clear that I wasn't." Adding, "The criticisms I faced when I first entered this genre forced me to propel past the limitations that were put on me."
But instead of crying about it like your crackhead fave and trying to shame the platform into giving her an award, she continued working on perfecting her craft, then ended up winning Album of the Year at the Grammys instead.
The Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
Also, when her husband suddenly was experiencing SA allegations, she kept it cute and quiet and let that man handle his BS alone.
Jay-Z just made his first public appearance since being accused of raping a girl more than 20 years ago. The hip-hop mogul hit the red carpet in Hollywood last night with his superstar wife Beyoncé at the premiere of Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King. He was there to support Beyoncé, who has a small part in the film, and daughter Blue Ivy Carter, who has a starring role.
An honorable mention, we cannot forget the notorious elevator incident, where she said nothing for months. Hell, Beyonce so high, vibrational, and better than BS, she said nothing while it was going down inside the elevator. Only after the surveillance video was leaked did she release the following in response.
Cause sometimes shit go down when it's $1 billion on the elevator. Goddamn.
And I could go on and on. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And again, an entire masterclass could single-handedly be taught on how Beyonce properly handles bad PR. But for time's sake, we'll leave it high level. Hate it or love it, a big can make millions solely on selling a course about how to carry yourself with class and decorum despite any negativity or adversity you may experience. The Crash Out Queen should be taking this course because Beyonce is Olivia Pope level when it comes to handling PR nightmares. There's a reason why people commonly say I'm Beyonce to the BS, because people constantly try Beyonce and constantly come for her slot. She refuses to dignify those beneath her with responses. Sis said, "Your conversations are below my pay grade. I will not remove myself from this chariot to throw tomatoes with you peasants. I will not cast pearls among swine. I wouldn't spare the spit if they was on fire." Child, again, when she ain't win the CMA award, she ain't go skiing, then get on Queen Radio, higher than Lady Liberty Coochie, going on coke-fueled rants. Well, she was snubbed by the Grammys year after year for decades. She ain't talk about how other artists don't deserve to win or throw them under the bus like the Harajuku hater did. This is how you properly handle career challenges. This is how you handle competition or negativity. Beyonce is a master of alchemy. She uses pushback to motivate her, and she doubles down on her artwork, focuses on her craft, silences her naysayers with pure talent, hard work, class, poise, and grace. And all of that grind resulted in another billion-dollar empire.
I'm one of one. I'm number one.
Meanwhile, your fave desperately throwing herself at 45 and his maggots collecting crumbs. This is why, although we used to mention Nicki and Beyonce in the same sentence, they are now no longer even in the same stratosphere. So let's finally get into Nicki's fall off and how she sullied her brand at every turn.
I'm the bad guy, bitch. So I'm dressed as the devil.
And the first strike was when her brother was convicted of predatory sexual assault and endangering the welfare of a child after essaying his 11-year-old stepdaughter repeatedly. He was sentenced to a prison term of 25 years to life in January 2020 due to this.
Nicki Minaj's older brother has reportedly been charged with a 12-year-old. The rapper's 37-year-old sibling, Jelani Minaj, was charged on Long Island and was freed from Nassau County Jail this week after bail was set at $100,000. Minaj, the Jamaica Queensbred starlet who rose to fame with hits like Anaconda, recently spent about $30,000 for her brother's wedding at the Coral House in Baldwin, New York. "Can't believe I cried during his wedding and his first dance like a punk," Minaj wrote on Instagram at the time. She continued, "May God bless him and his union." She added, "Tonight has been one of my favorite nights of all time. I'd do anything to see my brother smile."
And guess who paid for his legal fees and silently supported him on the sidelines? Child, you guessed it. Onika the grape apologist. Onika the enabler. That was strike one. Strike two, shortly after she married her PDF-file husband, who was previously convicted of manslaughter and attempted rape in 1995, then ultimately punished for failure to register as an ex-offender due to these convictions.
During Tuesday's Wendy Williams show, the host slammed Nicki for marrying Kenneth Petty, who recently was indicted for failing to register as an ex-offender in California.
But let me tell you something, Nicki. You should have never married him. Because now you've ruined everything about what your brand could be. Again, you're never going to stand a chance when you're with a man who pulls a at point. A registered offender who wasn't even you're never going to stand a chance with John Q. Public, because there's only one thing worse than touching children, and that's murder. By the way, he did go to jail for murder.
In response, Nicki the Ninja stood beside him and instead of holding him accountable, harassed and bullied the victim.
Jennifer, have you ever spoken to Nicki directly?
I did, in March of 2020. She called me and she said that she got word that I was willing to help them out in a situation. I didn't understand what she was referring to. She offered to fly me and my family to LA. I turned it down, and I told her, woman to woman, this really happened. And I hadn't spoken to her since.
And her husband didn't learn his lesson and continued engaging in ninja behavior and violated his probation just a few years back by making threats towards Offset, Cardi B's husband, on social media.
Offset, where you at? That's it. Gotta spend that shit. I'm like a zai, nigga.
Womp, womp, womp. So here we see classic Nicki the Pick-Me. Nicki Me Too Minaj. Onika the victim blamer. Still on her BS. So Nicki misogyny further sullied her brand by nonstop beefing with other women because, if you can't tell, she hates Black women. She started off her career engaging in unwarranted beefs with Kim, Remy, Queen Latifah, then more recently Meg Thee Stallion, Carisha and JT, Doechii, and SZA. She's also got into it with heavyweights like Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, and Missy Elliott as well.
I wanted to make sure bitches knew that the bad guy was here.
But she really showed her ad with the recent Cardi crash out.
Bitch, I got beef with being broke.
When Cardi released her long-awaited sophomore album, and all hell broke loose.
I've been in a lot of drama. You're extra, you're loud, you're unapologetic.
Well, thank you.
Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B. Two rap queens back at war, hurling insults over lyrics, album sales, Cardi's babies, some barbecue ribs, even Barney the dinosaur.
This sounds exciting.
So, who's the drama?
Oh my God, that's a great question.
Well, it takes two to tango. Here's Nicki and Cardi's latest social media battle explained. This time, it starts with Nicki.
Oh, I get it. They painted me out to be the bad guy.
On Monday, she shared this now deleted dollar amount, $4.99. Why is that important? Well, it's the promotional price of Cardi's new album, Am I the Drama, on iTunes, which sold 200,000 album equivalent units in the first week.
Oh, snappity snap snap.
If you did my numbers, y'all will pop champagne.
Nicki then clowns Cardi's so-called basic verses, calling her Barney Dangerous and mocking her new hit Magnet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these can f me.
Yeah, Cardi raps the alphabet, so Nicki does too, with her own twist, labeling the Grammy winner a barefoot and smelly liar with a big belly. Remember, Cardi's currently expecting baby number 4.
Well, yes, I am. I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stefan Diggs. Of course, who don't want that? You know what I'm saying? Duh.
Still with us?
Because this is where Cardi comes in with a picture of her dinner.
Like, oh, I got a whole lot of to talk about.
Yeah, she says, I was really baking ribs and making blondie brownies, and here come this bothering me on a damn Monday. Her comeback? Well, Cardi roasts Barbie for allegedly scrambling her reproductive eggs with painkillers before the birth of her son. She even calls out Nicki's brother, who was convicted of child in 2017.
Oh shoot, wait a minute.
And finally, Cardi brings it all back to where it started, the new album. She blasts Nicki for even bringing it up, adding, quote, "You need to compare yourself to your peers that started around your time. I was in high school when you came out. What the is you comparing yourself to me for?"
So on that album, Cardi took shots at Bia. She also made a diss track about JT. She even pissed off Ice Spice as well. And even though the Queen Crackhead wasn't even mentioned, Nicki decided to go skiing, got high off her strongest booger sugar supply, got higher than Statue of Liberty coochie, and went the F off, which culminated into her calling Cardi's daughter a monkey and threatening to knock the little girl's teeth out, child. So here we go again with Miss Nicki Minaj, the crash out queen, the cocaine Barbie, spiraling down the gutter snipe Twitter sewers, all because Cardi dropped her sophomore album and people actually liked it. And instead of resting in the fact that she's already goated, she's already her, she's already that girl and already cemented in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, hell, instead of just dropping music to remind us of who she is, she crashed the F out.
Motherfucker, who you greatest woman.
I mean, foaming at the mouth, lashing out about people's children, spiraling, and then randomly announcing an album 6 months down the line. What Cardi said, I say on her mind, I got condos in that big head. She said she ain't with me. Who said that she can't know? She done got into it with Ice Spice, who is 25, JT and Cardi, who are both 32, but Nicki is 42, child. She is 10 years their senior, 20 years Ice Spice senior, and Lotto senior. She's the auntie in this equation. She's the elder. She's literally old enough to be somebody's grandma at this point. Yet here she is, bickering with little girls half her age like a petulant child, just geeked up and spiraling, hyped up off powder and pills, showing her bloated, botched BBL ad on the timeline. And as if that wasn't enough, she put the final nail in the coffin by caping for Donald Trump and speaking at the UN alongside Mike Waltz to speak out against what she calls so-called persecution of people in Nigeria due to their religion.
Hello, everyone. I must say I am very nervous, so please, well, thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way. I am inspired by their work to build interfaith ties, to see the humanity across the lines which might divide us, and to fight for security and liberty for all those who pray. I look forward to our discussion today, and I hope it will encourage deepened solidarity for us to urgently work together to ensure every person can enjoy the right to believe, to worship, and to live in peace. Barbs, I know you're somewhere listening. I love you so very much. You have been the ultimate light in my life and career for so long. I appreciate you, and I want to make it very clear once again that this isn't about taking sides. This is about standing up in the face of injustice. It's about what I've always stood for my entire career, and I will continue to stand for that. For the rest of my life, I will care if anyone, anywhere, is being persecuted for their beliefs. Thank you.
Boo, boo, tomato, tomato. Oh, brother.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I've got bonnet Barbie fatigue. I've got queen cokehead fatigue. I got super freaky granny fatigue. Y'all, and don't accuse me of age shaming because I'm 37. I'm an auntie too. I'm a literal aunt. The difference is you won't catch me arguing with little girls half my age with half my accolades or sucking McTaco Tits Lil Vienna sausage for some clout. At this grown, big age, you're supposed to be the voice of reason, Nicki. The calm, the example. But instead, we keep getting Nonika the crash out. You're embarrassing, Nicki. You out here grasping for straws. Child, instead of building your version of Fenty and Ivy Park and other globally renowned, recognized brands you should own right now, you on TikTok selling nails. And we see why. You are desperately clinging to everything and anyone with any semblance of power. Throwing ish at the wall just to see what sticks. Ruining whatever little bit of legacy you got left in this side. The gag is you don't even got the range. Because who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this? Child. And the truth is, you know it's time to hang it up. Flat screen. That's why the Harajuku hater argues with these little girls because she sees them as her peers. Not just in talent, but in intellect and in maturity. Because if Onika the nigga really felt secure in her legacy, she'd do what Beyonce and Riri consistently do these days. Sit still, silent, ruminating in her greatness. Because greatness don't gotta scream. Miss Rihanna and the real queen command the room without saying a word. And that's the gag. The broken Barbie has to keep telling people she's that girl because she don't believe it herself. Addiction specialists say a person stops maturing when their addiction starts. And this right here is why you see people damn near 50 acting erratic like they're 20, going on coke-fueled rants one day, then addressing the United Nations the next. It's the powder. It's the pills and potions you love to sing about, Nicki. You out here self-medicating mental illness, schizophrenia, and psychosis with substance abuse, and that results in these antics. Got you strung out on booger sugar, manic, on live TV at these people you in trying to hold it together. And the curve's so damn dumb, by the way. They wouldn't know a snake if it rattled and bit them. They talking about, oh, well, she seems so coherent to be so strung out like y'all claim. That's why don't nobody give what y'all think either. Because the Barb fan base is full of a bunch of suburban white kids with black sense and punks who don't know what the F y'all talking about. Coke is a stimulant. It gives you a burst of energy that speeds up the brain. It gives you false confidence that make you think you qualified enough to talk about international affairs on a global platform when your ass ain't even qualified enough to get a Grammy. There's a reason CEOs and actors and actresses that gotta be sharp and on their A game all the time indulging it. It's an upper. It's like snorting speed. But I guess they thought she was supposed to have a Fenty fold or something after doing powder. No, she geeked up, dum-dum. She gonna be alert. Moreover, the BBL Barbie's legacy is in the gutter because she truly is a mean, nasty, mentally ill girl. She's in the same class as Rihanna and Beyonce and Taylor, yet they've all effortlessly surpassed her. And only one ain't a billionaire, and I wonder why. She older than everybody she beefed with and more accomplished than them, yet she act like this feral animal and your brand is in the toilet as a director's off. I wonder why. So getting higher than Statue of Liberty coochie, endorsing the Cheeto, then crashing out online, coming at everybody unsolicited in the same breath. Your mental illness got you thinking you a politician, ranting while manic, calling kids monkeys, then sobering up the next day and deleting all the evidence. Child. Again, you ain't got the range, sis. You got powdered courage. Shenan once, shenan again. Again, it's arrested development. She's stuck at the age her addiction started. Jealousy don't look good on you, Nicki. And it's not slick, it's not subtle, it's not covert. It's blatant. It's sick. It's green-eyed rot spilling out for the world to see. It's obvious that you harbor this deep down animosity and bitterness about everyone else that is doing well. Just nasty, old, and hateful. Spiteful and vindictive. An evil spirit. And it got you so desperate and struggling so bad you seeking MAGA validation and support for your redemption. You out here calling children ugly, calling them monkeys, talking about knocking a little girl's teeth straight. Ho, is you cool? Is you cool? That's gutter, gremlin, gutter snipe behavior. Just disgusting. And more than that, Beyonce's and Rihanna's success alone is a textbook example of exactly what to do when you receive adversity and when you encounter challenges throughout your career. Nicki's responses throughout the duration of her career is not. Keep the clapbacks, because when you win it, you don't argue with pigs in the mud. You let them roll around while you book busy and platinum certified like Beyonce and Riri do. So Nicki should have used this era of her career to show us what longevity and legacy looks like and aging beautifully. Instead, she showed us what it looks like when idols age in reverse, just devolving from icon to embarrassing and a joke. And it's all her own fault. The masterclass ain't in her meltdowns, and it definitely wasn't in her caping for the head of congestive heart failure for Nigeria. The masterclass is in the stark contrast when you compare how the rest of her class has navigated the same challenges and how they've easily outgrown, outpaced, and outperformed her. So Nicki boo-boo, log off Bookie Butt, get a therapist, go to rehab, touch grass, drink water. Ain't nobody coming for you, babe. The only enemy is yourself, boo-boo. It's time to sober up, grow up, put your big girl panties on, and meet that man in the mirror and do some serious healing. Child, that's all I got. So what do y'all think about Nicki's current state and recent antics? What do y'all think about her deciding to co-sign someone who notoriously built his political platform on misogyny and racism and misogynoir and homophobia? Despite that, the people of those communities primarily make up her fan base. I'm so curious to hear y'all's thoughts. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.
Even if you think I should, bitch, nigga, I don't give.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.